It's my real pleasure and honor to share with you the amendments that we are going to be voting on concurrence as they have left the Assembly for SB 3. We have already debated SB 3 last year. This is a 2-year bill, so I will spare you my soapbox. But I will remind everybody that the reason SB 3 is before us is reflected in a comment made by President Obama, which is that income inequality is the defining challenge of our era. Over 60% of working people are living paycheck to paycheck, literally living paycheck to paycheck. The inflation-adjusted median wage for workers over the past 20 years, for the bottom 40%, which include all minimum wage workers, has actually decreased by over 10%. So workers are struggling. 2.2 million Californians are currently earning minimum wage, and they are living in poverty because it is a sub-poverty wage. So that is why we are here. The differences between what we voted on last year and this year are as follows. In many respects, this is actually a more modest proposal than what the Senate has already passed, and I'll describe why I say that. In the original SB 3, we would have gotten to $13 an hour as a minimum wage for California by 2017. In this proposal, we won't get to $13 an hour until 2020, 3 years later. There are then 2 additional steps in this version to take us to $14 an hour in 2021 and another dollar increment in 2022. Another provision that this version has that the original one did not is that it gives small businesses an extra year to get to not only $13 an hour, but also to $15 an hour. It delays the entire program by 1 year. And then additionally, this amended version has what we're referring to as a pause button or an off-ramp, which authorizes the governor to meet one of 2 tests. One is economic, the other is budgetary, so that if there is a drop in sales tax receipts, if the economy is slowing significantly by certain definitions in the bill, that the governor is able to pause the next step up until we get to 15. The original bill had no such provisions. Keep in mind that this legislature, by the same simple majority vote that it can pass this bill today, can at any time in the future make adjustments to it or in fact repeal it. So we retain control always, though the bill specifically and proactively gave the governor authority to make decisions on his or her own should there be need in unknown fiscal times. So those are the differences between the 2 bills. One last and important difference is that when Assemblywoman Gonzalez successfully put into law 3 sick paid leave days for workers in California, unfortunately, in-home support service workers were carved out of that. This restores those 3 days for them as well. Again, 1 day up by 2018, a 2nd day by 2020, and the 3rd day by 2022 when we're at full implementation of the $15 an hour minimum wage. Those are the differences between the 2 bills. I ask for your concurrence on Assembly amendments.